Good afternoon, morning, whatever it is. It's a pleasure to see you. You fine people of the internet. So, music stream. Another one of these. Why not? Although this one's gonna be a little special. It's the last of my 3 commission pieces, actually. Funnily enough. Alright. Timur, Uzaka, welcome to the stream. Pleasure to see you both. So yeah, for the first time I will actually be working on a commission on stream. Simply because the client gave me explicit permission to do so. So why wouldn't I? It's extra stream material. It's another songwriting stream. It's an actual goal. So why wouldn't I? Although before I actually jump into the door, there's a couple of things I should mention. So first thing, something I forgot to mention back in my Morrowind stream over the weekend. If you look at the point redeems down at the bottom right of the chat, the points you get just for watching me, I decided to rebalance the rewards there and add a couple of more. Just because it occurred to me, holy shit, those are actually kind of expensive. I should probably cheapen those a bit. Except for the 2 singing ones, those will stay expensive because fuck that. You want me to sing, you're gonna have to drag me kicking and screaming into that. No negotiations. Anyways, the other thing is that, what was the other thing? Shit. I don't remember at the moment, but it'll come back to me. Eventually. So, I guess that'll, do it for the... Timur? No! No, this is a serious day. This is work day. Please don't. Or at least save it until after I'm finished with working for the day. Then again, I say this like I can actually stop you, but whatever. That's my, okay. Okay, thank you. I appreciate your consideration. Anyways, what the hell was the last thing I wanted to announce? Well, not necessarily an announcement so much as a future plan. So there's this one project that I was asking around about that I don't think anyone here knows about yet, but you will eventually. So, I'm not going to give too much detail, but the broad strokes is, at the beginning of January, there is something I'll be doing. And it will be very fun. It'll be a nice little trip down memory lane for me. And that's about as much as I'll say for the moment, because I still have a lot of negotiations, a lot of organization, and a lot of people I gotta ask around before I can actually properly shotgun that. So, I guess that's all I had in mind for the moment. Although there's one last thing I want to do before I jump in. I actually wrote notes for myself, which wouldn't be a big deal except for the fact that I can exactly show them on stream. So, this is what my client wants. They want a 2-minute and 30-second song. A dreamlike and relaxing vibe with some possible fun elements. Not sure what that means, but I'll wing it. So, judging by the reference tracks, I actually gave me reference tracks on top of that. It was a lot of acoustic guitar work. One of which was a solo piece, none of which had any percussion. That's going to be an interesting challenge. I don't usually work with songs like that. Although, of course, as I say that, one of the songs in my commission batch was actually just that. Literally just a solo guitar and a flute. I'm not sure if that client is using that music already, but if they are, there you go. Hello, Zop. God, I'm fucking sick of being called Cliffy. Anyways, so, this isn't going to mean anything to anybody who doesn't know music theory, but I've pretty much already settled on a key signature / mode to use. We will most likely be working in the key of A Lydian. Simply because, my music theory teachings have already, taught me, hey, you want a dreamlike atmosphere? Use the Lydian mode. And so I shall. And with that, I think we are finally ready to go ahead and jump on the DAW. There we are. Completely blank project, blank slate. Because my dumbass woke up a little late today, and I didn't really have all that much time to actually properly set up a project. So we're going to mostly wing it. That said, I already know 2 of the instruments I want, so I suppose I'll just insert them into the project right now. Virtual instrument on new track. Yes, indeed, it is hard to make Lydian so bad, which is precisely what one of my indirect teachers has told me. If you're familiar with Jake Lizio of Signal's Music Studio, that's one of his favorite keys. He has a bunch of videos on Lydian, and he always says the same thing. Roughly what you just said. It's hard to make Lydian sound bad, and it's very dreamlike, very fun to use, very effective if you want the right vibe out of it. And so I do. Actually, before I begin properly with the song, I forgot to mention on Twitter even that I actually bought a plugin yesterday that I will not be using on this track because, unfortunately, it's probably not going to be useful for the sort of song my client wants. But of course, I have to actually, yeah, I can imagine that being useful, but I don't know if even that would work. And look at this, for once I actually remembered to turn Restream on, so you can actually hear what I'm doing. That would have been awkward had I forgotten that. Anyways. Again, I'm not going to be using this, but I'm going to show it off anyways. No. Let me introduce you to Drum Synth 500 by Air. So, like I said, in the opening Zatsu, this song will probably not have any percussion on it, simply because it's not the sort of song that lends itself to that. None of the reference tracks had any percussion, but I just wanted to show this off anyways. Simply because I am the sort of person who sort of struggles with EDM sort of ideas, so anything to help with that. So, apparently Game Toys is the one they show by default. And as you can see here, instruments are all conveniently labeled. And there's a bunch of effects you can place onto them. Should be fun to... This will be fun to use once I actually get a project I can use it on. Let's hear how the preset sounds. It's loud as a motherfuck. That's another thing. Several of the included samples are actually not samples at all. They're actually miniature synths within themselves. Yeah, I can imagine that. I will say some of these samples are stronger than others. Ergo, some of these kits are stronger than others. Let's see. I want to say I remember one of these kits was really body music. I think that was the one I liked. That sample should sound awful familiar to you, if you listen to any amount of electro. That's a bit weirder. Anyways, we're getting sidetracked. I can't wait to use that in the project, but, again, not this one. So, let's stop fucking around and actually put on an track, an instrument that I'm actually going to use. And, at least for the songwriting portion of the, process, this is one of the ones. My trusty ample guitar PF, which is useful for writing any guitar music that isn't metal. Very chordal sort of idea here. Just give it a minute to load. It's very rather heavy sort of plugin. A lot of samples, a lot of effects. Means it's gonna take a second. But while I'm waiting for that, I might as well give it a little extra signal chain, just to make it sound a little more like what I want, just so I have a better idea of what it's going to sound like afterwards. So, if you were here for my last songwriting stream, I believe you saw me go through this already. So, Dirt Machine with the acoustic simulator, of course. And then I believe it was, Impulsive. There you go. Impulse responses, 3 Sigma pickups, Taylor. There we go. And I could basically pick any one of these. It doesn't really matter all that much. As long as it sounds close enough to an actual guitar, because this probably isn't going to get used in the final track. I'm probably going to end up switching to another sample library I have. But again, we're just writing, so that's what we're doing. Alright, so first I gotta... Not that window. I have to turn off every single effect. Because, of course, the default sound... They give you a bunch of reverb and compression and EQ and shit, and that's not what I want. I want a completely dry DI. And I think that's everything. Oh, and last order of business, gotta switch to the neck library. Neck pickup, that's generally what they advise you to use if you're using these acoustic impulses with an electric guitar. Just to make it sound that much more convincing. So once it loads, I will go ahead and audition. Let's hear what it sounds like. And that's incredibly quiet, so turn the master up. Turn the volume up here. Let's see if that improved it. It did somewhat. Let's see if there's anything else I can... that's right, gain. And we overcorrected a bit. This has to come down. Rest in peace, your eardrums. There we go. I'll bring this down. How's that? Yes, I am doing mixing when I'm barely even doing songwriting yet. That's just how I operate. Somebody paid me to do this, so they're gonna have to live with it. Anyways, let's do some actual songwriting. So, first order of business, get rid of all this shitola from the standard songwriting that they used. And I'm going to go ahead and save this right ahead of time. Save part of the project, because why wouldn't I? But first I gotta make sure this is the right BPM, and I gotta save this. But since I don't want you looking at my files, you're gonna have to hit standby for a moment. So please bear with me. Very briefly, I'll be back as soon as I can. And that was a mercifully short little process, so now we're back. So, again, the key I want is A Lydian. Which I just realized is going to take me. I can't exactly memorize the chords off the top of my head, so that means I should probably insert a piano. This probably isn't going to show up on the final track, but it'll help me get my bearings as far as what I'm doing key-wise. No, I don't want all those outputs. There we go. Switch to Steinway piano because it sounds best. There we go. Close out for a moment. Let's see. I just want to figure out the chord progression before I do anything else, just to ensure that I'm going on the right track. So, key snap, and we're going... no, not A sharp. A. Might be slightly over-caffeinated there. A Lydian, there you go. And it sounds like this. So it doesn't sound that weird or out there out of context, but just wait till I put it in context. So, first order of business. Switch to rectangles before I do anything else. That was silly. So, we're going to take this, and we're going to build a chord. And it's actually a fairly easy formula. Take a root note, skip a note. And do the same thing. Take this note and skip another note. And that gives us an A major. Nice and simple. So, the next chord is actually pretty much set in stone. If you want the Lydian vibe, you're going to have to go the next chord up, which is B major. And I don't have to do that all over again. And I'll just go ahead and loop this, because these two chords, according to Jake at least, are all you need for the Lydian vibe. Just take a listen to them. Silly me, I forgot to loop them. See? It's already sounding dreamy, ethereal, floaty. Exactly what you want. Now, I don't have a particular progression in mind, but I'm just going to improvise, because I know there's one more chord that my teacher, Mr. Jake Lizio, recommended I use. But I can't remember which one it was off the top of my head, and I'm not about to, this ain't a media share stream, so I don't think I should probably, share that video on stream. It was either the 6 or 7, I don't remember which. It was either this chord, it was either G sharp minor or I think that's an F sharp minor. Either way. We'll try them both and just see what happens. And we'll put, we'll do another root. We'll bounce between the root and the other chord. How's that? Let's see how this sounds. Sounds fine enough to me. So, next order of business. I think I already have an idea of where I want to go with this. I'm thinking of having a sort of rising and falling sort of idea, where the chords are just gradually sort of ascending, and then they come back down, just to make it seem like a bit more of a loop. And that should be easy enough to accomplish. But before I commit to that idea, I want to hear how the other chord sounds in this context. Okay, I don't remember if that was a chord he recommended, but I like how that goes. Joe's a little more with the root. I like that. Very nice. Again, a little more, almost ambient in a way. He didn't specify ambience at all. He just wanted something relaxed. Those aren't exactly the same thing. But might as well give it a little ambient element. Just because it fits with the client's character, I would say. I'm not quite ready to reveal who it is, but I've very heavily hinted at it, so if it's not already easy to guess, it'll be blindingly obvious later on in the process. Anyways, as I was saying, so we're gonna invert this up, which is to say, play the same chord just on a different root. So this is called first inversion right here. Which means, essentially the first part of the process. We take the first note and we loop it over there. We play it an octave higher. Which means, of course, that we gotta bring this up as well. Chord invert up, just to fit the idea. Yeah, second inversion is a nice, it's a nice idea as well. And I believe that's what I did for this chord, but in any case. I'm just going to go ahead and elaborate on the idea a little bit. So I know I want these chords playing, but in effectively reverse order. We're going to drag this over to... Whoops, accidental sus chord. That's not what I'm after. At least not at the moment. I might experiment with that a bit a little later. But also the wacky ideas for if this particular progression doesn't work out. Okay, so apparently I did have the right idea. So yeah, we're gonna ride this chord for a little bit, except we're gonna invert this play up. Let's hear how this sounds. On second thought, no, I'm not. I don't know how I feel about this, now that I think about it again. This should be back at the root. Because I forgot one of the cardinal rules of the Lydian mode, or working in any mode besides major or minor. There are certain chords you have to sort of come back to or stay on for a while if you want to keep the vibe going. And in this case, well, the easiest way, of course, is to simply keep coming back to the root chord of the key. So again, A Lydian, it's based on A major, so that's probably what we want to do. A major, snap to that. There we go. Yeah, it's a little wacky, but I think we have something to work with at least. I have some idea what I want to do. So I think we're going to send it for the moment, and we'll just go ahead and work on the guitar part a bit. And with that, we are going to use the handy-dandy Riff Rider. So... little lag spike. Don't mind that. Let's save just in case. There we go. A major. Now, my client did want arpeggios, but I think we're not ready to really explore that quite yet. I don't know what I want to do. I just want to make sure these chords sound okay together first. So it was A... and then B major. And this is way too short of a length, so... and then back to A major. Don't mind the boring cowboy chords, we'll fix that up later. Let's see, A, B, A... and I think it was F sharp minor we went to over here. There it is. Lydian. This measure. Yep. F sharp minor. F sharp minor, there we go. Hold on. Am I writing this? Yes, I am. That would have been embarrassing. A little too long. Wrong way. A major again. So yeah, this isn't going to sound exactly how I want, because again, all I'm doing is just plugging the chords in just to see if they sound right together on the guitar. We'll sort out actually making it sound proper later. F sharp major, A, and then B. Yep. That's the advantage of making everything, that's the advantage of going with a pattern. It's fairly easy to remember what you were doing. Because again, we're going for something floaty, ethereal, and the client didn't ask for this, but I'm thinking, trying to make it somewhat easily loopable. Alright, let's hear how it sounds all together. I forgot the measures are doubled in length. So yeah, this is going to take a while, but on the bright side, I'm already liking what I'm hearing here, so... Alright, send it. Sounds good enough. So, next order of business, let's go ahead and, where is, there we go. Ref dice, there we go. So we're going A major. We'll go a random number of notes, why not? Put a little more faith in RN Jesus. Just because that's what I'm feeling. Let's see what it comes up with. No, I don't like that. I like that significantly more, but it's a little top-loaded. I want an extra note somewhere in there. All right. Just the question is which. We'll chop it here. We'll hear how that sounds. That sounds a little too close to a previous project of mine. That's more like it. Perfect. That's a good first chord. Unfortunately, now it's time for the real pain in my ass. So we'll save this. So the next thing I want to do, and I'm going to pray that it doesn't completely fuck me over, I'm going to hit the riff dice again. And again, our next chord is B, so we're just going to do largely the same thing. Yeah, I like it well enough. See, what I wanted to do was I wanted to sort of bounce between two different arpeggio patterns, because that's something I've noticed in my sort of acoustic type songs so far, that I stick to one strumming pattern ever. Which is not really what I want to do. So, let's see here. I know I want to bounce between two patterns. Alright, let's take this, and we'll cut it, and I'll pray that if I reload the part, yep, right there. So I'm going to paste this into this measure and pray that it'll let me. Yes, it will. Perfect. Excellent. All right. We are sorted. It's all looking good so far. So those are my two patterns, and I'm going to stick to them because why not? So now comes the fun-filled process of filling in the rest of the chords. So, again, A. But fortunately, it allows me to choose which inversion I want. No, I don't think it's going to work like that. So, suppose I'll have to settle for just a flat-out copy and paste job. Not the worst position to be in the world, but I can think of a worse. So, next up, we're switching to the F-sharp minor chord. F-sharp minor, F-sharp minor. Stretching these out, because I need to make an arpeggiated part out of this. Based on this. So... let's see. 1 E and 2 E and. So it splits at the and of 2. Which is probably not... okay, so to explain that. Music is based around 4s. So, if you're just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, or in this case, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4. If you just count the 1, 2, 3, 4, that's quarter notes. But obviously, it divides a little further than that. The next step down would be eighth notes, and you count those. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Which means it would split at 2 and in this case. And then the next one down is the 16th notes. And those are counted 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 16th notes only really come into play in this arpeggio at the beginning strum. These are separated by 16ths. And yes, indeed, 7/8 is fun. Odd time signatures are fun in general, but that would require me to program everything from scratch. And this project doesn't really call for that, so I ain't doing it this time. As much as I'm sure you would love for me to do that, and as much as I would like to experiment with that eventually. Okay, 3 and. Jesus, that's, this note takes a long time to kick in. But I can dig it. So this one, 1 E. Simple enough. And then it splits off just right at 3. Nice and simple. Next note in the pattern goes like 1 and. Goes all 1 and shit. And then that's it. And this last note just starts right at 2. And this note doesn't come into play at all. Let's hear how it sounds. Sounds pretty sad out of context, but once I get it back into context, it'll be all right. And another A. We're not gonna alter that in any meaningful way. Next up was this one right here, I believe. So yeah, this actually takes less work than usual if I'm making arpeggio-based sort of songs. Because I'm only using 3 chords, so all I gotta do is just copy and paste them. Would be nice if I could sort of do that stair-step idea, but that would take a little more engineering. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted it here. There we go. Perfect. Would take a little more engineering, which is possible, but I'm not sure. Yeah, let's see how this plays first, and then I'll decide if I want to go for that or not. Fuck it, it's good enough. At least for the moment. Although obviously on its own, it doesn't sound very Lydian. But I have an idea for that. So, we're going to insert another instrument. Breaking out Sforzando, but I want us to use this on a track. Although I will say I have been thinking of using it again a little more in the future, because in all honesty, as much as I like Relay for rhythms, it sounds amazing for rhythms, but I'm really not digging its lead tone. So I might end up, for lead guitar parts in the future, I might end up going back to Metal GTX. But that's a tangent. We're not using that in this particular track. Choreography, meat bass, here we go. Once I find, okay, so I think pizzicato is the version I want to do. Okay, this looks a little more complicated than I remembered. Yeah, we'll go with the cello. Plucked. Because, that was indeed one of my client's, wishes. He wanted a sort of plucked, sort of either upright bass or just flat-out bass. Yes, something exactly like this. So I have an idea for this. So what I want to do for this particular track, just to ensure, again, if we're going for a Lydian vibe, the main thing we need to do is we need to stay on A. And I have an idea for that. Which will require me to break out another instrument. Hatefish Rhythm Generator. Let's see what I can do for a interesting melody on this particular track. So for those of you who haven't seen this plugin before, haven't seen me use this one, it's basically exactly what it says. It's a rhythm sequencer. Euclidean. So to explain this briefly, it's a Euclidean rhythm. So the way 4/4 works is that there are really only so many rhythms that can possibly be done in the constraints of 4/4. So the Euclidean formula is a way to sort of break that down. sort of help you realize, oh, there's only so much I can do, but I can still be nice and creative with it. Okay, so I want to go with A1. So to that effect, so status on, this sequencer is already on. Let's see what it's doing right now. So that's what it's doing just straight out of the box. But obviously that's way too many steps. And too many beats. So basically, the way it's going right now, it's just going straight 16ths. Apparently 16 is the minimum steps, but as you can see, if I raise it up, it's just that many more steps. Beats, on the other hand, is what's active there. So, again, it's split into 16th notes, just like it was back in the Apple guitar library. So it would be 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. And if you just give it 2, it'll just play on 1 and 3. Bare basic. That said, this note is way too fucking high, so... There we go, just like that. That said, obviously that would not be a very interesting rhythm, so... Let's start on another step, doing largely the same note. Also, A0. Now here's where the real fun of this plugin comes in. If you have 2 of these steps playing on similar notes, you can come up with really crazy rhythms because of how these 2 can interlock. So, let's say I moved it down to just... Yeah, send it. We'll start at 5. Let's hear how that sounds. See, I came up with an interesting bass rhythm by almost complete accident. That was just me scrubbing around. That said, so basically, I unintentionally made the 3/4 clave, otherwise known as the unnamed rhythm that unites pop music. There's another Jake Lizio video for you to watch. That's literally just the name of it, the unnamed rhythm that unites pop music. Think of Have a Nice Day by Bon Jovi, Aerials by System of a Down. It's in a bunch of other songs like that. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to stop fucking around. I'm going to share the link. But let's go here, instead of just making you set at a waiting screen. Yeah. Forgive me for fanboying over this dude so much, but he's simply really worth it. Like, if you're a musician of any stripe, it's just so, he has so much to teach you. Like, that's literally his occupation, he's a music teacher. But yeah, between him and just so many other great YouTube musicians who are willing to share their knowledge with the rest of the world, it's just so much to be grateful for. Anyways, there's a link to the video. Again, unnamed rhythm that unites modern music. Feel free to watch that after the stream. Anyways, back to work. So it's nice enough, but I don't know if I want... These 5 notes are okay, but I don't think I want them playing on these particular notes. And that's where shift comes in. If I just push them over this way, let's hear how this rhythm sounds. It's literally exactly the same as if I just kept it at 1. Or 0, I mean. So let's shift it to 1. Let's hear how that sounds. let's shift it to 2. One more note over. So in this context, if 2 notes overlap, they're playing the same notes. I would just double this up. You could just effectively ignore this note. Let's hear how this sounds. I really like that rhythm. Dun, 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 dun. Unironically. However, it's not doing us much good with this in this plugin. So I have to turn it off. Because, little caveat of this plugin. If you have it activated before a particular plugin that you want it to affect, that means it'll just completely take over. And if you type in MIDI here, it'll completely overwrite that. It'll ignore that and just keep playing this. So if I want to actually use it in the song, but I want to switch to other rhythms, then I gotta disable this and click it in over here. Nothing out of the world, though. So we'll split it into 16ths because that's what everything else is. So 1 and 1 and to E to E. 1 and a 2 E. 1 E and a 2 E to E and a 3. 3 E and 4 E and And just like that, we have our main bass rhythm back. That said, this is not the only rhythm I want to use. However, I'm also thinking of just keeping it simple for the second portion. I'm thinking just straight quarter notes. Just to see how it sounds. We're in the experimental stage. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll see how they sound in this order first. I like how that sounds, but just for the sake of comparison, let's see how they sound in this order. So I like that order as well, but for the sake of really making sure we know what we're doing, let's play it with the guitar track, which means we'll drag this preliminary MIDI. And play it here. See, with that bass line just riding a constant A note in a little rhythm, that already sounds significantly more Lydian. Adds to the vibe a little more. Makes it more obvious what mode I'm in. That said, I can make it even more interesting, because just running an A is sounding a bit monotonous. So let's see how we can fix that. And this brings me to another wonderful music YouTuber, this time by the name of Bass Buzz. And this is a tip he taught me, in that you can make completely foolproof bass parts as long as you stick to roots and fifths of chords. So in this case, we're running an A, so if I snap to an A power chord, which I can do by going into this menu, 1 and 5. So just constantly playing E's and A. A's and E's. Just sticking to these two notes, I should be able to come up with an... Should be able to come up with something interesting. So we'll start with this rhythm. Let's hear how this take on the riff sounds. Already liking how that sounds. But let's hear how it interplays with the other two chords before we make any snap judgments. Okay, so the verdict is... this version of the riff sounds fine if we're not going over the other chords. We sort of need that drone to have the right effect if we're gonna be playing sticking just to A. So to that effect, we'll bring that back up. So we'll just do the initial plan and just stick strictly to A. Let's hear how it sounds now. I think I've achieved a nice balance with doing it that way. Because again, we need the drone, we need to stick to just A over the other two chords, just to ensure that we're still in Lydian. But if we're actually playing an A chord, that gives us a little leeway. We should be able to just stick to it. And furthermore, that should enable us to just take this and loop it over twice, because, again, this has to last for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. But I think I might have to come up with another idea. Let's see, this requires me to know what the actual word of Lydian is, so I'm gonna head to chat. So yeah, I don't actually have any of this shit memorized. So if I look here... Alright. Just because I need to know what the proper major that Lydian is based on is. And I don't remember it off the top of my head, but fortunately I have tools for that. So. A Lydian. So apparently that would be E major. Alright. So, I think I know what I'm doing now. We're going to bounce between A Lydian and E major. So, I need to come up with a second part of the song, sort of a B section. Which I can bounce between just for the sake of variety. So, if I come back over here, let's double check to make sure that this is saved properly. Save it. So, I think rather than just following this formula, we're going to do something completely new. So that means clear it all the way, and we're going to save it again as B section. Key of E, copacetic. Which means we break out the riff dice. If I can find them. They're down there. That's right. So we're going E. We're going to base it around arpeggio too. Why not? E major. Let's hear what they give us. I just flat out like that. Perfect. So we're going to save it. And we're going to do the same exact thing we did last time. We're going to bounce between E and A on this. I think that's the best way to keep consistency with the other part. It's just that the A chord will be doing a different arpeggio. So we're going to go A. A major, yep. Roll it. Really nice, but a little too busy for what I'm going for. Opposite problem, not busy enough. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So we're just going to cut these. Reload the original. Get rid of all these, and then just paste it in. Perfect. I think we're going to just bounce between just these two chords. Just because it sounds... actually, no. We'll introduce a third chord. Just, I think the 6th. Which means I gotta break this out again. Whoops. Alright. Doesn't sort of throw away MIDI item, just so I know what I'm doing. And we'll snap to E major. no. G sharp 3. I like that. We'll go for that. G sharp. We will attempt to snap to a G sharp chord. Let's see what it gives us. So, we're going for G sharp minor. Let's see what they give us. Yeah, look at me taking control. Alright, I like that. So again, we'll cut this. We'll reload the original version of the bass section. Brother Jack, good to see you again, and motherfucking goddamn it! I forgot to save when I did the other fucking arpeggio. That's a pain in my ass. Well, I ain't getting that arpeggio back, so... nothing to do except save that over, and... now I gotta have them give me a arpeggio all over again. That sucks. Nope. All right. Perfect. Okay. Control X. Reload the riff. Now, take this chord. Fuck me. Delete it, and now paste it where it was supposed to go the first time. And look at this. We seem to have a completed riff. So let's save it before I do anything stupid again. But yeah, to answer you finally, besides that hiccup, it's actually been going pretty well. Yeah. See, it helps to have a goal with this sort of thing, because, fortunately my client left me fairly extensive notes, gave me pretty good reference tracks. He had a good idea of what he wanted, which I appreciate as, somebody who likes to have boundaries. Alright, let's hear how this all sounds together. Okay, Jesus Christ, that sounds way too low. Or no, way too high. Opposite problem. There's gonna be a different... Okay. G sharp minor. There we go. Yes, exactly, Jack. Yes, exactly. And I would know because I've been on the other side of that many times at this point. I've botched it off of people enough to know what I want. Okay, so Apparently I got a reroll now. D sharp minor. Yeah, that's infinitely better than the arpeggio I had anyway, so we'll cut that. Reload the project. Paste it right here. After getting rid of this shitola. Now let's hear how this all sounds in context. And that's the entire first loop. So we're going to loop this twice, which means we got to get rid of all this redundant shit. Highlight all of this. Copy it. Paste it here. And just like that, we have 2 reps of our B section. Which means we can save it safely. And just drag it here. Nice and simple. I said drag it in here, nice and simple. There we go. So, I think what I'm going to do for this particular version, I can go a little nuttier with the bass line here, but I think I'm going to keep the broad strokes of my intent there. That's good to know. So the funny thing is I'm actually not even that confident in my drawing ability to even... I'm afraid that my drawing ability is so shit that it would actually be counterproductive to try to do that, but... If you say it helps them, then I guess it'll help them. I should probably ask Mama for advice on that at some point. We'll see. That's the future. I gotta focus on the present. So, we'll take these 2. Glue them, because why not? Transfer them down to E. Yeah. Well, not all brothers, technically. We still got the other way. Let's see. So again, I want to make this a little more interesting, so we'll snap to any power chord, because again, roots and fifths. If you want to write interesting bass lines, those are the 2 intervals you gotta keep in mind. They probably don't, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Because again, they're about to debut. They're about to actually properly join us. The real way. The real shit. No more of that pre-debut shit. They're about to come into the world properly. So we'll sort that out when that happens. So then I'll just continue to improvise. So, let's see. E, and then an A. That's right. And we can just copy that over from there. Why not? Copy it over. And then G sharp minor, that's right. So key snap, G sharp power chord. So take all these notes, snap them there. Take these notes, snap them up here. And that's the bass line for that entire section sorted. Perfect. Let's hear how it all sounds together, just preliminarily. So that's the first half of the song settled. So, not much brain power here, just copy it over a couple times over. Wait, no, that runs over time. Whoops. Well, guess I'll have to come up with a C section then. Alright, I'm not going to use too much brain power on this one. So, clear everything, and we'll save this as the C section. Not that kind of C section. So we'll keep the A Lydian feel, but I think we're going to strum it instead. Strum one. Alright. So. A Lydian. Let's see what they give us. Oh, whoops, that's A minor. That's not what I'm going for. So I like that for the most part, but that's a little too long of a gap. Let's hear how this sounds. Fuck me. Oh, I can't even use that. That's not even in root position. Damn it. And that's too intense. There we go. Finally something I can use. So we'll save it. And now, B major. Wow. good enough. It's interesting enough. Breaks up the monotony by being slightly more one note, but we will nothing wrong with being a little ironic. And that's what we want for the second measure, so we'll paste it in there. Paste it there. There we go. Make sure to save it so I don't fuck up epically like I did the last time. Let's see, do I want to use the exact same chord progression as the B section? Probably not. That's what I think I know, something I want to do. So, I think we'll make this only 4 measures long, half as long. Alright. And we'll just use the chord progression that we lifted from over here, which, if I recall correctly, was a F sharp minor. That was it. So once more, we roll the dice. F sharp minor. Let's see what they gave us. Something way too fucking low. Wow, that was a fuck up. No. No. Let's go with a 4 anyways. Man, they're just giving me nothing here. Alright, that's the closest to something I wanted to do, so let's get rid of these so that I don't run into something what I did that one time. Move it over here, scooch it to 3. Perfect. Scooch these over to 4, and then there we go. That's what I'm after. So, copy these over, reload the riff. Please tell me I didn't. You motherfucking god. I did it again. I did the same exact fucking thing a second time. Okay, save it this time. This time I'm going to go ahead and get slightly lazier. So, E major, give me a good E major strum. Works for me. Copy it. Reload it. Paste it. Alright. And I used the wrong chord. Really batting 1,000 at this segment. Okay, let's try this again. B major, that was right. Fuck it, that'll have to do. Copy it. Load it again. Fuck, no. Ow, my eyes. Alright. Play some of this sounds good. It sounds good enough, which is indeed good enough. So we'll drag it here. And the next order of business is we're going to do somewhat of the same idea, except with the other chord progression. Clear everything. We're going to say this as the D section. Appreciate it anyways, Jack. Make some good ass food. I wish I had some good food. Yeah, I will later, though. No point in whining that much about it. Alright, so next order of business. Bring this out again. E major. Perfect. Save it. So, what was the progression again? It was, I know it was EAE something. EAE G sharp, that's right. So, get rid of that. And get rid of that. Just to make absolutely sure, leave no ambiguity. Welcome to the stream, Suke. Haven't seen you in a moment. You're just in time to watch me fumble my way through writing a little acoustic part. The last, however much of it. Alright, so next up we're going for A major, that was it. I think. Fuck it, I'm loading the part just to be sure. I said I'm loading the friggin' part. And not killing my eyes doing it. Whatever. Okay. B section, that was it. Okay, so it was... Okay, so I was right. It was EAE G sharp. Alright. So load this back up. EAE G sharp. Alright. So hit the dice again, and we're going A major. Perfect. Cut it. Load the riff as it was. Paste it here. There we go. And now save it so I don't go through that incident again. Alright. Last part. We need a G sharp minor. G sharp minor. Roll the dice. Perfect. I'll take it. Cut it. Load the original. That Windows noise freaked me out for a second. I was afraid that I lost the riff again. And I think, there we go. Another time, Suke, I'm working on a commission. Somebody paid me to write something chill and laid back, so that's not happening. Unless I happen to have over 10,000 points to spare, but even then. Alright. Alright. That works. So, save it one last time and drag it into the DAW. So, let's see how these two sound together. And then just loop these twice over and look at that. A 2-minute and 30-second song. More or less. Yeah. On second thought, what's happening here? Jesus. We don't need that second rep of that. So it's a bit of a cliche when I do acoustic music, but I think I know what I'm going to do for this the last 30 seconds of the song here. I'm thinking just simple little basic arpeggios. So, clear everything. We're going to make a new portion, and we'll call it ending. There we go. Just a basic E major. That's not what I wanted. I asked for an E major, sir. Where the fuck is it? There we go. E. E major. E major 1. There we go. Wait, no, I'm an idiot. I wanted an A major. There we go. A major. And we're going to arpeggiate it slightly in eighths. 1 and 2 and 3. Now, largely the same for this measure. With a B. Same idea, different chord. And another little 8-note stair step sort of idea. 1 and 2 and 3. Get rid of that because we don't need it. And I basically want to do the same thing here, but in reverse. Another A. So I want to descend with the chord instead of ascending this time. Start from the bottom and stair step down. Nice and simple. And don't even think about it, just do the same thing for the B chord. Like that. A little bit of that. A little bit of this. One more serving of that, and that's the ending sorted. Let's hear how it sounds. One little alteration I want to make. I want these notes to keep ringing. If I can even do that. If that's even physically possible. Probably not. But I do not care. Okay, so let's save this. Just... First of all, get rid of this. And just tack this right onto the ending. And there we go. There's my client's 2-minute and 30-second song. The guitar part, sorted. But of course, I gotta go write some bass parts for this. Not even gonna think. I just want nothing but straight eighth notes of A. Not the most exciting bass part in the world, but that's not what the song needs. It doesn't need an exciting bass part, it needs a functional bass part. So, key snap, we'll go, shit. Measure Lydian, there we go. Sustain them out. And now just copy that over a couple of times. Again, we're going for Lydian feel. That means the bass is playing nothing but A's. So I think largely the same idea here, except for the fact that I want the bass to follow the chords. Which means in this case, snap to E major. E. And that, I believe, is an A chord, so that can stay at A. Put that back in. Just copy that over, because this is another E chord. And then, oh, we got a raid. A raid. Ballmiser, thank you for the raid. Appreciate that. Welcome to the stream. I am, doing some relaxing guitar type shit right now. Finishing up a bass line. Trying to just make something, nice and relaxing, because that's literally what I'm being paid to do. I'm working on a commission, actually. And that's what the client wanted. And now, that's the bass line for this part sorted. That's pretty flattering, Baldmazer. I mean, not to sound too self-aggrandizing, but my other two customers were very happy with my work for them. So I'm hoping my client likes this, but we'll see. Alright, so for this one, I think I'm just going to do that thing I did earlier, bouncing between root and fifth. Thank you for coming, T-Bird. It was a pleasure having you here anyways. Take it easy. Alright, there we go. MIDI item, there we go. So we're snapping to an A power chord, there we go. Chord, power chord, 5. Works well enough. And now we just take this and drag it up to B. Once I make sure to snap to A Lydian. find it. There we go. Major, natural, minor, Lydian. There we go. Copy this over, because we're just repeating the same chord. Never mind. Completely forgot what I did. So, take these two parts and delete it, because I am a fool. Let's glue these together to make it a little easier to do what I want. So these notes are fine and dandy as they are, but we want to interval invert them. I don't think that's what I wanted to do. Figures I had to do things the hard way, but sometimes automation just doesn't get you the results you want. And with that, that's pretty much the meat and potatoes of the song all finished up. Let's take a brief listen. So there we go, and obviously it loops because it's a backing track to Zatsu. That's pretty much what it's supposed to do. And that's basically the meat and potatoes of the song, but I think we can do a couple of more things to make it a little more thematic to the character, to the client. We'll make it his a bit more. So we're going to that effect, we're going to insert another virtual instrument. Helm. That's what we're doing. Thank you, Bunzel. Pleasure to see you. Let's see, I forget which one of these is the right one. Ah, okay. So yeah, Helm. Synthesizer. This looks really scary and intimidating, but it's fine. So basically we're going to, I'm going to take a little, essentially ripping myself off here. if you've heard my song December Dawn Farewell, I want to do something similar to that here. I just want a little pad playing a chord in the background, just to sort of help add to the vibe I'm going for. Like, it's pretty much just going to be as if the keyboard player just fell asleep at his keyboard. But of course, this default patch is not suited for that, so we're going to... There we go. Factory presets, pad. We'll start with soothing and then just go from there. So, let's just go ahead and place this here, insert a MIDI item. Key snap, and we want just a basic major chord. There we go, there's our bass note. We'll snap it to one measure because this is going to be a long-ass fucking chord. And we'll insert a chord starting from there. Select everything in here. Let's see how this sounds. See, this is soothing my ass. Okay, that's not gonna work. So, let's solo this up. We'll see how everything works in the mix in a moment. That's not very soothing either. Now that's more what I'm looking for. This right here. There we go. That's the stuff. But let's hear how the other version of it sounds. I think we found our preset here. We're gonna go with this one. But first I gotta turn the fucking volume down on this. This is ridiculous. There we go. Alright. Because I don't want it to... It's not supposed to dominate the mix. It's supposed to be just a little ambient element. There we go. And now, next order of business, we take this and we just paste it over to the next section, which it'll be playing an E chord this time. E major triad. Bring it up, that away. Actually, that sounds fine. Send it. now, just abridged versions of these to go over here to their equivalents over in the, what I call the C section. Nice and simple. And now to make sure they actually fit. And I think for this ending section, we'll just, let the synth stay quiet. Let these pick up the slack. Over the stream, Kaneko and, yep. Kaneko and Nelson, pleasure to see you both. And yes, Nelson, this is supposed to loop. This is, my client wanted a Zatsu background music, so that's generally my operating, that's how I operate when they ask for that. I designed them to be fairly easily loopable. Well, I'd like to think this sounds loopable enough. I tried to stick to a formula where it is sort of designed to loop in on itself. So, I guess I'll just play this very last section and then see how it loops into the beginning. Yeah, I'd say that's a smooth enough transition. Just to bring it back from the top. Yeah, I'd say that's fine. Alright, so next order of business, let's bring in a real guitar patch. How's that? None of this electric guitar pretending to be one sort of shit. So, to that effect, first of all, I gotta bring in Sforzando, which for those of you who haven't seen this before, this is basically freeware contact. People just make libraries for it and you can just load them in. Basically a VHC engine. And I'm going to use a patch that I don't believe I've used on stream before. So, user Unreal Instruments. This name should be very familiar to you if you've been to any of my old school songwriting streams. I swore by Metal GTX. And I think I'll still be bringing it back into the fold, like I said earlier, just because I don't like how Real 8 sounds as a lead device. The Slapper, there we go. AG Slapper. Just this main patch right here. So as you may have guessed by the name, this is actually designed as a slap guitar solution. If you want to, like, cover a Rob Scallon song, this would be the VST you'd want to use, but, the thing is, it's actually also a very effective finger-picked sort of, VST, if that's what you're after. And that's exactly the vibe I'm going for, so we're going to bring it in here. Once it loads, there we go. Okay, thumping, that's not what we want to use. Not popping. So, a lot of key switches here, but thumb, middle finger. So, yes, you can choose which finger between thumb or middle, or thumb or index, I mean, that you can control the guitar with. Oh, I almost forgot about the guitar percussion. I completely forgot that was the thing with this plugin. That'll be really useful later. I don't know if I'll use it in this song because the references my client provided did not include percussion at all, so I assumed no percussion. That said, that'll still be really useful later. So at any rate, let's go ahead and take this, drag it over here, glue everything together, and we gotta get rid of every key switch that's related to, that's esoteric to ample. So, let them file ample default mode. So, everything below C2's gotta go, and everything above C6 has also gotta go. Because that's just, shit that ample uses. That's going to be of absolutely no use whatsoever in this particular track. Okay, C1, what's that do for this plugin again? Should probably take a look. That's exactly what I want, so how lucky. We'll keep that there. And this shit all has to go too. So let's hear how well it made the transition. Just give it a listen over and make sure nothing got horrifically fucked up. Sounds convincing enough to me. This will work just fine. That said, this all sounds a little too gentle than what I'm looking for. Because sure, editing velocity is nice, makes everything sound realistic, but there comes a point where it stops sounding realistic and just sounds like, oh, this is a robot faking it, trying to sound realistic by just putting velocities all over the place. Which is sort of negligible if you're using the actual VST, but now that I've switched it over to a different sampler, it's just, no, this has to change. Fortunately, I have an accent for that. Here's Reaper's secret weapon right here. Bunch of nice people have invented scripts for this that'll do shit for you. And here we have some of the Archie scripts. This is what I want. Set velocity to 100. There we go. And just like that. Sounds better, more or less. So, let's hear how it sounds mixed with our bass. Significantly better. I like this. So, next step, let's humanize this. Let's mix up the timing of these notes just a bit. Just so that it doesn't, not perfectly on the grid, doesn't sound like a robot played it. Which I can afford to do because I'm not using any funky key switches on this. Just like I'm not using them here either. Didn't need to. And next up, this needs a little reverb. So usually, okay, first let's bring up reverb, my impulse loader of choice. And for those of you who don't know what an impulse loader is, it's just something that loads wave files that were made to imitate the sound of a certain place. That's all an impulse response is. So, for instance, pretty much all you gotta do to make one of these is just go into a space you want to imitate the sound of, and either pop a balloon or fire off a cap gun or something. That's usually how they do it. Which means, obviously, if you want airport impulse responses, that's not gonna work. But people have done it anyways. You don't gotta make one yourself. They're out there. Anyways, I gotta add an impulse response, and that means file. So, obviously I have some things here. So, if I was doing a regular sort of recorded, just trying to imitate regular ass studio recordings, I would use this nice drum room reverb response. But I think I'm gonna experiment a bit. I'm gonna see what some of these other wackier ones are all about. We'll start with Deep Space. And we will route these two plugins in there. Name them guitar and bass, just so I know what they are. Call this one synth. And in case you're wondering about this, I have a script installed that automatically colors tracks for you. If you use Reaper, it's very useful to know what you're doing with which. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and switch screens so I can show you the video that I used, that I followed to make it this way. Let's see, finding it. There we go. This video right here. Just in case you want to monkey see, monkey do. Color your tracks. Assuming you use Reaper, which you should. It's an amazing fucking DAW. And this right here is a testament to why it is my DAW of choice. Just the amount of customizability. You can make it do basically whatever you need it to. It's great. Anyways. Okay, why is the synth muted? That's not supposed to be that way. That was exceedingly strange. Sounds okay, but we can go even wackier. Raise, that sounds nuts. Sounding just fine. So, let's go ahead. Let's start off the reverb on this. And then we'll run it into this one as well. Just for the sake of consistency. Just making them all sound like they're in the same space. That's a critical part of mixing. wondering what I was doing there. I was making sure this, I was afraid this was going a little too loudly into the verb, but no, that was the sound of the actual synth. It sounded just fine in the reverb. Although, speaking of mixing, that reminds me. I need to clean up the mix a bit. Which means I need to add a bunch of filters. So first of all, this needs to have a high pass on it. We'll go 120. That's usually my safe bet. And same thing here. Okay, but these other two tracks, I'm gonna have to consult a cheat sheet of mine real quick, which means I gotta head back over here. So, for those of you who don't know, here's something I've been swearing by the last couple of projects, just because, I've been working with a lot of instruments I don't usually work with, which means my metalhead ass would have been lost had I not discovered this. I'm gonna go ahead and share the link. Yeah, actually, on second thought, if I bring it up here, there we go. I can just show it to you right after I disable this silly little thing. Okay, behold. The EQ cheat sheet. So, this is basically just what it sounds like. It is something that has basically every instrument ever made on it. Anything you would use in any product, any project that isn't completely out there, and it just gives you things to do. A little, gives you a guiding hand as to what you should do. So, first of all, acoustic guitar, this is what we want. So, we'll see the tips we got here. So, low end rumble. So we don't want that intense of a roll-off. That said, yeah, we gotta be conservative with the low end, because of course that'll muddy up a mix if we're not crazy, if we're not careful about it. So, wood, basically we want to leave this range alone. Definition, and then attack and air. So basically, I might want to boost the high end a bit, but also give a high pass. Simple enough to me, so let's go ahead and get back to the DAW. And to mix this, here's one of my favorite weapons in any mix. The Dead Duck Channel. Here we go. So, if this looks familiar to you, that's because it is basically a freeware version of the Waves SSL EQs, which is great. All the fun of using top-of-the-shelf Waves plugins without having to actually deal with Waves. Fuck that company. So, let's loop this A section a couple of times, just so that I can just EQ and play. So again, we want to high pass at about 70, leave everything alone except for we might want to add a little bit at 1.5. Let's try it. Let's isolate it just so I can make sure that I'm doing the right thing for the mix. And indeed I did. Sweet. And it doesn't particularly need a noise gate or any compression, so that's about as much as I need to do for this. So, now let's see what they advise us to do for the cello. This is pretty important. This is literally a third of the mix right here, so... Let's take a look, and... Pretty simple instructions here, so... High pass at 60 to 80. Possibly get rid of some mud at 200 to 300. Boost 400 to 600 for fullness. If I want to make it more present... Add 6 to 8 kilohertz. And if I wanted to add a little more distance, low pass it at around 14 to 15 kilohertz. All right. Let's go ahead and test that advice out. So we're going to go here. And I've already forgotten half of the advice, so let me just throw it up on another... Let me bring it up on another screen really quickly. We'll just go ahead and see what's going on. Yeah, I probably should memorize this, but this is my first time working with a cello on a song, so bit of a slow process at first, of course, but given the choice between looking like a scrub and sounding good, I will always take looking like a scrub. All right. There we go. Have it up on another tab, so let's go ahead and apply the advice. So, check 200 to 300 for mud. That's gotta go. There we go. Now, look at 400 and 600. There we go. So what this cue does is it's basically, do you want to cut only a set frequency, or do you want to cut a bunch of the frequencies around it? So for this particular move, I want to do something in between. And then finally, 600 kilohertz for a little more definition. And last but not least, at a low pass and around 14 to 15 kilohertz. Now let's A-B it just to make sure, see what we did. right moves, but let's hear how it sounds in the mix. Alright. Looks like I did good. Fantastic. Although there's one last little touch I want to add to the song, just for the sake of giving it a little more extra spaciousness and realism. I want to pan these two tracks. I'm thinking this one to the left and this one to the right. Just slightly, though. Not trying to completely screw over headphone users or anybody who only listens in mono, but let's just see how it sounds. Here's a little aspect of Reaper I never showed you guys before. This is useful. This is the mono switch. Basically, you click this, it goes from a perfect stereo surround image down to mono. If you're the sort of person who's going to be making a lot of music for mobile games or expecting to hear your shit played through a phone speaker, this is probably going to be a godsend for you. Just because, remember, just because it sounds good in stereo doesn't mean it's going to sound good in mono. Fortunately, this does sound good in mono. Yep, everything's nice and defined, has a good space in the mix. Perfect. So, last thing I want to do, I think the synth is still, the pad's still too quiet. I mean, too loud. There we go. Gentle bells arpeggiated in half notes. There's an interesting idea. Let's see. What have I got for bell VSTs? I know I should have something along that line. Alright. Let's bring up another sforzando instance then. See, this is the nice thing about doing things live. I never would have come up with that on my own. Let's see, take a look. Let's see, free sounds. I think there's a decent bell somewhere in here. Is this the one? No, it isn't. That's a percussion instrument. Let's see, glockenspiel, there we go. That's probably more what we're looking for. Glock. And I think we'll layer it with the acoustic guitar. Why not? Fuck it. Route it over this way. Make sure it's hitting the verb. And make sure it's all really quiet. 45, that should be enough. Let's hear how this sounds. Okay, so I like this, but let's mix it up a bit. We're only going to add it to the second half of each of these parts. Just to give it a little more, sit. Okay, S, and then delete it. Yeah, I guess I have some fucking royalties for this idea, don't I, Nelson? And again, we'll take it out of the ending because we don't want it. I wonder if my cheat sheet, fucking... Alright. Gotta look it up. Let's see. Front-end page. Nope, no glockenspiel tips. Up, that's fine. That's very complex. I suppose I can just, like, send some of the money your way, I guess. Maybe I'll just pay it forward and buy a commission off of you. I don't know. I'll have to think about this. Anyways, yeah, that was silly of me. I forgot what you're about for a second. Then again, I do tend to care a little too much about the ethics of things. I actually was willing to... I was basically willing to do whatever you wanted me to do if, fucking it meant, I don't know. Okay, so one last little layer I want to experiment with here. I want to add some wacky effects to these, like some phaser or chorus or some shit. Just to see how it sounds like. Yeah, maybe, Bunzel, maybe. I'll have to think about that, won't I? Anyways. Let's have some chorus on the acoustic guitar. Just because I want to see what it sounds like. I want to experiment a bit. Because again, we're doing some voidy type shit, so... There we go. There we go. Just as I expected. It's fantastic, it's a nice, subtle element. Because again, this is supposed to be, Alright, I'm gonna stop fucking around here. This was a commission for, Shady. This was a song for Shady. And again, he wanted this sort of a relaxing, chill, guitar and cello sort of vibe, but, again, as a voidling, I wanted to, add at least some elements that were a bit wacky, spacey, extra-dimensional and shit. So, that's basically, part of what that's a lot of the reason I had the synth pad in the background, but I figured I might as well at least attempt to add it to the guitar and bass, just to see how it affects it. I think I'm going to add the exact same effect to the bass, just to see how it affects it. Let's just see what happens here. I can be significantly more aggressive with it here. Almost forgot to save that entire time. That would have been awkward had we had a dog crash, wouldn't it? And, funny you mentioned that bundle. I know somebody who just finished all his musical obligations right in front of your eyes. And he might be ready to accept more work very soon. Hint, hint. Okay, so for some reason I didn't think that one through. I forgot that this part is all strummed chords, and that doesn't sound as dumb as I expected on Glockenspiel, but we need to reduce these a bit. Some of these notes gotta go. But which ones? You know what, fuck it. We're not going for realism anyways. Not in this project anyways. I say we send it. It sounds nice, it sounds gentle. Fuck it, who cares? That said, we're gonna go back into this channel for a second. Guitar's getting a little overpowering here. I think I need to hit it with a limiter. That's more like it. Excellent. So, yeah. I think... no. Yeah, no, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I think I've done good work here. This seems to have worked exactly as planned. I mean, obviously I gotta run this by the man himself to ensure that I've done the right thing and make sure he likes it. Because for all I know, he might want me to throw this entire thing out and start from scratch. But I have to actually ask him first. But yeah, I think, yeah, this is good progress for one stream. I think I'm about ready to call it in here. This, I think I've done something good here. I'm feeling good about this one. I think I've done fine. Yeah, you look at all my crazy metal things, you look at all my crazy metal shit and you think, oh man, he doesn't know. He's all 11 all the time. He doesn't know how to dial it back, play quiet music. Well, fucking look at me now. See, that's the... Just for extra irony. I've opened my commissions and literally nobody asked me about metal. Nobody... They all wanted me to do something different, but... That's fine. I appreciate the challenge. I like exploring new horizons, which means, Nelson is right, Mr. Bunzel. We should indeed talk about that a bit, at some point, after I reopen commissions, because I do plan on opening more slots, but I gotta finish the batch I got first, but if Mr. Shady likes this, then that means I'm almost ready to reopen them. So, keep your eyes open, I guess. So, yeah, I suppose that'll do it. I think, things are good. Things are good. We're in a good position here. All I gotta do is just talk to Shady about it, see what his feedback is, and that'll just about do it. So, thank you all very much for coming. One stream down, and then the 2 borderline gorillas to go. I want to apologize again for fucking, just saying I don't know when I'm streaming on my schedule, but the thing is, this week's kind of wacky. I have a couple of obligations that I need to attend to, so not really in the best position to really promise anything. So yeah, welcome to the stream, Die. Fashionably late, but thank you for the hydrate. Because we're actually wrapping up here. You missed me actually managing to put a good dent in my commission. Thank you, Brother Jack. Appreciate that. So, yeah, I suppose that's... Alright. You want to stretch, you get a stretch. There we go. Alright. That feels better. That... Man, I can feel feel the crack in my back. But... It's fine. It doesn't matter. So... That's the end of that, so it's time for us to select our traditional raid targets. So we got Faith, Alice, Hene, Mimi, Tomazon, Arthur. Let's see, I'm thinking Toma myself, unless, because obviously, this is probably not everybody who's on, so doesn't hurt to double check, I suppose. So, suppose we can take a look real quick. Brother Tabor's on. We also got... check some Acreus Elliott. You know what? I don't think I've read an Acreus before. I say we go to him. So, yeah. Fuck it. We're rating Acreus. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for hanging out, enjoying the stream, giving me confidence, ideas, and other places. That was pretty crazy, but yeah, I think that'll do it. So, thank you all for coming. See you at some point later this week. Not sure which game I'm playing yet, but either way, it'll probably be a good time. So, see you then, and until then, let's say hello to Acreus. Later.